Hey everybody, this is Jessica Lynn of Jessica Lynn Original Studios, and I thought today it was time to make a card. I do love all of my adventures, but I also love being able to be crafty. So I found this adorable image out on Etsy, and I absolutely love it. It is from a store called Zekesami. Zekesami? Zekesami. I'll put the link down below so that you can take a look. It is a store on Etsy, and she has a ton of really adorable digital stamps. Now, if you've never used a digital stamp before, I'll also put a link down below so you can understand how those work as well. They're super easy. Basically, you go out to whatever website, so be it jessicalynoriginal.com, or you could go out to Etsy or other multiple online digital stores. And basically what you do is you choose the image that you're interested in. And then what you do is you go ahead and you purchase that. And what I love is that for those of you like me, I'm impatient when it comes to shipping times. So what I love is that they are typically instant downloads. So I saw this adorable image and I went, yes, I think it's the little husky. So it kind of reminds me of like Little Red Riding Hood ended up with like her own little wolf, if you will, to kind of protect her. So what I did with the digital is basically it comes in a couple of different formats, and this particular store actually sets it up as a PDF so you can just open it and print, depending on what size card you're going to make. Otherwise, you could open it up in Word and then go ahead and size it to what you're looking for and then print it out. And you can see I printed it here on heavier cardstock. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my brother's Scan and Cut. I am a huge fan of it. I absolutely love it. I ended up getting some ink on it a couple of months ago, and I kid you not, I reached out to their Twitter account and said, hey, here's the model I have. Can you help me, or what can I do? And they sent me all the videos I needed to use to be able to fix my issue, and totally love it. So you can see here, originally I had some different sentiments that I was going to put above this card, but then I didn't love it. And with a Brother Scan and Cut, basically what I do is I print this out on a sheet of paper. It scans it like a printer scanner, goes in and actually says, okay, do you want me to cut on the lines, or do you want me to add how much of a white border around it? I choose that, and as you can see here, I used a very small white border around, which I think always just makes your cards have this little bit classier look. It's just like finding the cut lines for a die cut, if that makes sense. So what I love is I love being able to color in these beautiful digital images, and again, one of the things that I love about those is that you don't have to wait. So I purchased this, and within 15 minutes, I had all my supplies ready to go on my desk, and I was cutting and coloring. Now I am coloring this in using a variety of different Copic markers. If you are new, you don't need to purchase Copic markers. There are other markers that do a pretty good job. I also have CaliArt markers that are pretty nice as well. Or if you are thinking of investing in Copics, I would suggest picking maybe like a variety box, or potentially just going in and buying them per project as you go. I'll be really honest, it doesn't take a long time to get a bunch of them, and then once you have them, you know, you can start using them for other projects. And some of these Copic markers that you see me using, I have had for probably 7 years. Now, I've had to replace a lot of my standard colors, so like this brown color I have to replace a lot because it's the same color as our owl, Mr. Brentwood. But I love this combination of these three. It's like 3 colors. It's a brown and then 2 versions of like a caramel color. I love them together. So you can see like her hair. I love that. So I decided to give her blue eyes so that it would pop. I wanted her to really kind of staring at you, and I just think it looks so good. The little husky, I'm gonna be honest, when I first saw it, it literally just made me think, oh my goodness, maybe like the reason the mom wolf was, you know, trying to get grandma, right? Because if you're going with the fairy tale, was maybe she had a little pup at home that needed to eat. We don't know. No, I'm just kidding. It's a fairy tale. It's fun. Depends on how dark you want to go with that fairy tale. But I just thought it was so cute with the little husky. And it is Halloween time, so I mean, maybe the little bit of scariness is not so bad. One thing is in her arms, and I'll get to it in just a moment, I'm actually going to color it in. I realized I colored part of it as the arm, and it is actually the cape kind of sitting through. When I'm coloring skin tones, one of the things I'll do is use 2 or 3 colors of the tone I'm trying to get. So depending on like if someone is, different skin color, just pick ones that are going to complement each other, and it usually turns out pretty good. So with the little husky or the little wolf, I knew I needed to come up with a lot of gray, so I decided to start with the lightest color and then just build it up. And at the very end, I decided to take actually a black ink pen, which is the one I typically draw with, and just add in some fur lines because he just didn't look fuzzy enough. But I absolutely love it. So let's go ahead and color him in. And again, you can see there's a couple of the Cali art markers. I've really been successful with those, using them in combination with Copic markers. So I think that that's a really nice mix. And you can see I did a little too much of the W7 because it's a little dark. So I used a lighter one and sort of blended it out. Think of it kind of like watercolor. And I think it actually turned out, here's where I'm using that pen, just adding in a little bit of lines. I just needed him to look fuzzier, and I think that doing that really made it successful. I opted for the blue for her dress because originally I couldn't decide. Like, I had really thought about leaving it white, but then I just thought it wouldn't look finished, and I really wanted it to be colored. And I'll be really honest with you. I feel like the way I colored this, it feels very much like a children's book, and I'm really happy with that. Like, I would love to go back in, maybe take this same image and then redesign a whole background, something like a foggy woods or something like that would be really fun. It looks so cute. I wanted to make sure I just kept kind of toning her skin up. Oh my goodness, I love this. Should be a sticker. So the next thing that I always go in and do is try to decide what my background paper is. And don't feel like you have to commit before you color. I always pick after, because there are times where in my head I think I'm going to color things one way. Like, for example, the blue dress. That was not an intentional original decision. I wanted it to match her eye color, and I think it works really well. And I really like that one. It's subtle, but yet it's just enough. So that one will come back. But you can see, look at how different the card feels as you change papers. Like that one, I made it look like she was a little doll on a huge hardwood floor because of the size of the wood grain. Some of those are just too shiny. I really like this one. I think this is going to look nice. And then what I'll do is maybe cut a dark brown for the far background, and that'll help make her hair pop just a little bit. Not to mention, I think brown and red look so good together. Actually, I think red goes with pretty much, well, if you're talking black, brown, or blonde hair, traditional colors, I think that red goes really well with them. I think there are some tones of like vibrant colors, like rainbowish colors, like if you're going, bright orange or green or purple. that work, but you really have to kind of test it. So for this card though, we decided to go with the brown. So I am going to run this through my Cuttlebug. Now I know you might laugh and say, oh my goodness, you have a Cuttlebug. I do. I've had it forever. I got it from my mother when I first started my company over 17 years ago. And it's one of those that every time I pull that machine out, it always makes me smile. I think of her. Sometimes I've actually called her like right after I've used it and just told her, you know, that I love her and that I care about her. And, you know, it's one of those where you have some sentimental things that just make you kind of smile when you're crafting. And that's, I mean, crafting is supposed to be fun and it's supposed to be joyous. And if it's not, like if you have a hobby or something that you do that is just not fun, don't waste your time doing it. We are living in a world that is just too short, too small, too everything. And honestly, it's about enjoying the things that you choose to do with the time we've all been given. And you know, for me, I love making videos on here about adventures. I love making videos about cards. I love my stamp company. And, you know, it's one of those, you just have to find what your favorite things are and be inspired and love doing that, you know. I think the brown, now I'm going to be really honest, in person, the light, it almost makes it look kind of like a pea green, and it's not. It's more brown. It's kind of chocolatey. So we're going to go ahead and put this on there. I'm just going to use a little glue and then we'll put it on. And then I think what I'm going to do, I have some glitter ribbon that I think we'll put on here as well. It's so funny because I was cleaning my office, my studio, and I found this glitter. It's actually glitter tape. It's the best way I could describe it. So it's actually like a roll of like glitter on a sticky backing. It's amazing. Like, I'll be really honest. I love glitter. I love sparkles. I love using all that stuff in my designs. But for me, it is always so hard and so messy when I do it. And so I remember buying these glitter ribbons like years and years ago. And it was so funny. All of a sudden I'm cleaning and I'm like, there it is. Yeah, we're using this in a card. So let's go ahead and just get that on there. We'll trim the end. Boom. And for the sentiment, I'm going to use one of my favorite sets. And the sentiment I think I'm going to use that I found, I couldn't stop laughing when I saw it. You know, it's about amusing yourself, right? And so the sentiment I found says, wish you were here. So then I just sort of had a bad, like, oh no, you know, is this a card for like, you know, grandma with the wolf or just the I miss you card. So I love this sentiment set. Totally one of my favorites. I love the fact that there are tons and tons of things. You know, I thought about doing like happy birthday or an I love you or something like that. And then I just thought that other sentiment was great. And I'm going to use my close to my heart ink. These are always such a pain to open. I end up with so much ink on my fingers. It's just not even funny. But we're going to go ahead and just kind of put her on there just so we can decide where this sentiment's going to go. And I decided to put it justified left at the bottom in the brown. So we're just going to stamp that up. And then I'm going to stamp it down at the bottom. So I'm going to do that really quick. We're going to commit. And then once we do that, I always make sure to kind of clean off my ink stamps with like some baby wipes, which works really well. And then I always make sure to put them back in their specific, you know, like stamp set. I can't tell you the number of times, like when I first started, I would forget all the time to do that. And then I would always be so mad because I would lose the sentiments that I really wanted to use. So just make sure that you put them all back right away. Alright, couple of foam risers, and this is our finished card. So wish you were here, and I did it in brown so that it kind of blended in. A bold little sparkly ribbon, the beautiful die cut, which I love it almost feels like a stitching, like I stitched it. It always gives it a nice finished edge. Signature on the back. I always encourage you to sign your cards that you make because you are the artist for those specific cards. And I am so happy with how this turned out. So I just want to say thank you again for watching. My name is Jessica Lynn. I am the owner of Jessica Lynn Original Studios. I've added a couple of videos for you to watch, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. That little picture of me giving thumbs up, just click on that and it'll allow you to subscribe, which will remind you anytime we have new videos. And then don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Take care, everybody.